What's up YouTube? I'm excited to introduce you to my brand new to me Indian Scout Bobber 20. Let's talk about it.
Over the last couple of months, I had been demoing Indian motorcycles for the channel. Before I bought the Sportster 48, I had considered very heavily getting an Indian Scout Bobber. To me, it was a close call, but I went with the 48 because it was cheaper, the aftermarket support, and some other reasons. But after demoing the Scout Bobber, I decided I wanted to go in another direction. So I took my 48 and headed up north over 200 miles to a little dealership in Pennsylvania. I checked the weather forecast ahead of time since it was going to be a long journey, and even though there was no forecast of rain, of course it rained on me for parts of my 3-hour ride up to Pennsylvania. As soon as I got to the dealership, it just started hailing. I don't know if this is a good sign or a bad sign, but either way, I was really anxious to check out my Indian Scout Bobber 20. It's always a bittersweet feeling letting go of a bike and closing the chapter of a story in hopes of starting a new chapter. If I had it my way, I would own a garage full of motorcycles, but in reality, we all have bills to pay and grown-up responsibilities, I suppose. So I said my last goodbye to my Sportster 48 and said hello to my new-to-me Indian Scout Bobber 20. It was gorgeous. I know that some people may not like the looks of the Scout Bobber, but to me, I think it's a knockout, and the performance on these bobbers are just fantastic. The Scout Bobber to me feels like a symbiotic relationship between a sport bike and a cruiser. After a couple of hours, the bike was mine to take home. And when I walked outside of the dealership, the sun was shining and it seemed like a good omen, a new chapter in my motorcycle journey. So I took the bike and rode off. I rode it back home for about 3 hours, and the sun didn't last too long as the weather suddenly changed quickly and I had to ride in the rain during most of the trip. But you know what? I didn't care. There's something about that first ride. It's an inexplicable feeling. Getting familiar with the motorcycle, what it can do and what it doesn't like to do, and how it responds to your input. It's a bonding moment, truth be told.
Well guys, welcome back. What can I say? If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I'm sort of biased to Harley Davidsons. I've been riding Harley Davidsons since I basically got started on a motorcycle. Sportsters, Lowrider S, I've been testing out a lot of different Harley Davidsons, but like I mentioned earlier, I've been doing a little test rides on the Indian motorcycle line. The more I tested out the Scout Bobbers, the more I started to feel like maybe this is the right direction for me at this point in my life and for this channel as well. We'll do a little walk around on the bike and I'll get the bike started for you guys so you can hear how it sounds with these with the slip-ons. So I've had this bike for about 2 to 3 weeks or so, and I've been just kind of riding it around. I picked it up when it had about 400 miles. It is at 999 miles. It took me a while to find this model just because this is the exact color, the exact model of the Scout Bobber 20 that I wanted, with low miles, not done up or anything like that, so that I can customize it how I want to. So yeah, I bought it in Pennsylvania, rode my Sportster 48 all the way up there to get it traded in, unfortunately, and picked this up and brought this all the way home. I tested out the Scout Bobber and I really loved it, but ultimately I went with the Scout Bobber 20 because, one, I love this tank graphic and the color. I think it looks really sharp. The taller bars gives it a little bit more comfort, as well as these spoke wheels. I really like the combination of all three, and I think it makes the bike look fantastic. When I bought the Scout Bobber 20, it was pretty much stock. It came with this little purse here. Just kidding, it's this little swing arm bag or saddle bag, and that was it. But yeah, here's the walk around on this bike. I think it just looks really sick. All right, so first things first, got a new headlight, LEDs. Was pretty surprised at this price point of about like 13 or 14,000 MSRP. Doesn't come with LED headlight. Comes with this little X on the headlight, and I think it looks great. I'll drop the link to where you can buy it. It's on Amazon, pretty cheap. I also got this new seat from CC Riders. They hooked it up. I don't know if you know, but Scout Bobbers are notorious for having a really horrible stock seat. So I wanted to change it up to something more comfortable. That'll be a review for next week. I'm testing it out right now and formulating my thoughts on it. Moving down here, I did get just some slip-ons from Amazon. Sounds really good. I don't want to drop a whole lot of money on this bike just yet. Still trying to figure out what I want to do to it. So I went with the slip-ons. Sounds really good, and we'll start it up for you guys so you can hear. Then I transported over these Karayak mini floorboards over from my Harley Davidson Lowrider S onto this guy. Much more comfortable. And then lastly, I did wrap the grips with Trip Machine leather wraps. And the grips were a little bit too thin from stock, so wanted something a little bit thicker and with a more comfy feel. I like this a lot. I'll drop the link in the video as well. But that is pretty much it. For the most part, you know, it's not a whole lot that I've done to this bike. I just want to ride it around, get a feel for it, see how it rides, just enjoy the bike for now. And then as I get more familiar with it, what I like and what I don't like, I'm going to start modifying this bike. I am so excited. Part of me wanting to get into a Scout Bobber, and more specifically an Indian, is just because I feel like I've gotten into motorcycling a little bit later in my life. I need to make up for lost time, basically. So, you know, I've tested out a lot of Harleys. I love Harley still. I still have my Lowrider S. Unfortunately, the 48 is no longer here with me now. It is now the Scout Bobber 20. I just wanted to try something different. This is liquid cooled. It's still a bobber, which I love. Still a cruiser. I wouldn't change that. But yeah, I just wanted to try something else out, something a little bit more performance oriented, you know. I thought, you know, it would be a really great investment for the channel. It will help me become a more educated consumer and rider. When it came to Indian motorcycles, I didn't really know a whole lot, so I wanted to kind of dive in head first. And now I am a proud owner of this Indian Scout Bobber 20. Let's get it started. Ooh, these are loud. Doesn't quite sound as good as my Harley Davidson 48, but it does perform a lot nicer. Yeah. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today. I just wanted to introduce my new motorcycle, or new to me motorcycle, to the channel, to you guys. Say hello to my Indian Scout Bobber 20. And I'm really excited for what the future holds for us. But I'm gonna head out of here. Thank you guys for following my channel. Thank you for tuning in and just supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you guys following along on my journey. But yeah, I'm gonna bounce out of here. I'm gonna go for a nice little short ride. And then I'll see you next time. All right, peace.